Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Amy Grassi. I'm with Bitterroot Paper Crafts. I'm a close to my heart maker. This is the November Scrapbook Sampler. This was my prototype that I put together, and today I'm going to show you how I put this, how I assemble this kit. So just a little background. The Scrapbook Sampler is a monthly kit that I put together for my customers, and it's designed to be easy. It's going to be hopefully cute, and it gives you a jumping off point, something that you can expand upon. You can try new things that maybe you haven't thought about before. And I always incorporate a full-size embellishment or an accessory or tool for you to play with. I also do all the stamping work for you, unless of course unless the stamps are included. So this was my prototype, and let me show you what the kit looks like and how we put it together. So this is what the Scrapbook Sampler looks like. It comes in this little package, and I have got everything pre-cut for you. There is sometimes some little scraps that are included, and that's for a little embellishment or something that you're going to do with it in the process. So inside this paper, I've glued this together. I just use close to my heart paper to kind of secure the embellishments, but in here you have your photo placeholders. You're getting a full-size package of our Silver Bells dots, which are amazing. These dots come in, here I'll show you on my open package here. You get three gorgeous colors that are neutrals. So you've got this bronze color, you've got this what almost looks like dewdrops, but there's some sparkle to them. And then these beautiful silver colored ones as well. Almost like a dark pewter charcoal shade. So these are really going to go with almost everything in your future scrapbooking or card making. This is something that I kind of elevated a bit. This pack of die cuts that I cut out for you. So I stamped and heat embossed this with a platinum embossing powder, just to give it a little more sparkle and shine, and you have all of these pieces here to assemble on your layout. That's even a little bit better than what I put together in my prototype. This is just some wrapping paper that I had in my stash, so I hope maybe you can find a use for it. If not, it's okay. These are the pieces that you put together for your layout, and of course these are your base pages. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So each of your 2-page layout is going to start with a piece of charcoal paper, 12 by 12. Sometimes I find it's just easier to give myself a little bit of an adhesive background and stick that down on my Versamat. The Versamat is just a nice mat to have for it helps you with your measurements and everything, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to take our, this is mink paper, and I'm going to adhere this I'm doing the left-hand page, so I don't think I mentioned that. And we're going to have a 1/4 inch margin on 3 sides. So I'm right justified and a 1/4 inch margin all the way around on these sides. Start with our charcoal piece on the bottom, and this is going to be roughly at the 1 inch marker. And it is also right justified. And we're just going to stack these papers on top of each other. How cool is that? Makes it super easy. And again, I've cut these all down for you, so they should match up. And I just got a little bit of my adhesive on my paper. That's the nice thing about my Tombow is you can just rub it right off. If I had my rub and remove eraser here like I'm supposed to, it would be even easier. Okay, here's the next one. And then we're coming in with this bigger piece of Silver Bells paper. We're stacking that right on top. Like so. Okay. And then this is going to come right across that middle piece like that. I intentionally cut the Silver Bells paper just a little bit thicker so we could layer this versus it just being 1, 2, 3 pieces. It's just 2 pieces. I think it gives the whole layout a little bit more structure, a little more formal. Okay, now we should have 2 of our photo placeholders that are going to go here and here. And that is a 1/2 inch from the right side. And then there's going to be a 1/4 inch between the two. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be okay. All right. And then our photo placeholder, our photos are going to go in here. So this helps me visualize what I'm going to use for my pictures. You don't have to use them if you don't want to use them. I just included them in the packet because I think it gives you a better visualization of the project. And these don't have any backing. They are just 2 by 2 photos, which gives you a total of 5 photos on this page. That's a lot of pictures. And there it sits like that. Okay, we're going to put this little strip of charcoal down the edge. That kind of just gives it a little finished edge over here. Anchors those pieces that we've stacked on top of each other. And it's another nice piece because sometimes when you're cutting your papers and you're getting this pre-cut, so that's true of this situation as well, sometimes the edges just don't match up. And by taking a strip of paper or cardstock like this and just giving it kind of a clean edge helps your layout. Okay. All right, I'm going to remove the photo placeholders for now. I don't need them here on my layout at this time. All right, so that is the basics of page 1. So let's go ahead and do the other side now. Same thing here. We're looking at a charcoal base. Now remember our cardstock, close to my heart cardstock, not only is it have a white core, but it also has a light side and a dark side. So you want to make sure when you're doing a 2-page layout that you're consistent across your 2 pages. So if you go light, go light. I knew that was going to happen. Why does that always happen? Okay, hold on. Well, you saw my Tombow my Tombow tape runner empty out on me. That's why I love these 2 packs. In fact, I probably go through 1 to 2 of these a month just for my own scrapbooking purposes. So I try to encourage my customers to go ahead and get themselves, when they put their monthly order in, to go ahead and get a refill in their order. And that way they don't run out. It just keeps everybody moving along. Okay, so we're going to do that 1/4 inch border, but this time we're going to go left justified. See how easy that is with the Versamat? Okay, now we're going to, again, starting on the left-hand side of the page, we're stacking, but these are going to be a little bit of a smaller scale. It's going to look like this. And we are at that 1-inch marker here. Okay. Next, coming in with our small piece. And this is the way I want it to go. I want to make sure my swoopies are the same direction. Don't want any inconsistencies. All right, and then we're going to have our big piece, and that's going to stack up like this. Right on top. The nice thing about that pattern is it really is kind of, it moves about, so it's not a big deal. And then I have this piece. Now I am going to bring in my other page and line it up. If I had my second Versamat here, that would make it even easier, but I don't right now, so don't worry. This just helps me make sure that I have that nice continuous flow across my page. Now I will go ahead and jog this over just a little bit so it doesn't stick out. I can trim this side afterwards. There, I'm done with that. And now I've got these two little pieces of paper. Yours might be shaped a little bit differently. These are scrap pieces that we're going to use in a second. And then I have my photo mat. And then I have my charcoal photo mat. Okay. And I am going to go with the darker side of the mink for this. This is my photo mat, my photo mats for this side of the page. And I just want to get it centered in this strip. And then we're going to have three more photos coming in on this side. So it'll be 1, 2, and 3. Isn't that cool? Okay, and then we're going to have our charcoal here. We're going to have some embellishments up at the top, and then we're going to add some other embellishments here. Okay, so we're going to attach our photo mat. This one is different from the other. This is actually a charcoal one. And we're going to come in, let me put my glasses back on, at the 8.5 inch marker, and then in at the 11 by 8.5. So it's going to sit down right about here. Perfect. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and grab some of those embellishments that we're going to be using. We have our title, Holiday Memories. And then I also embellished a set of the holly leaves and berries to kind of tuck out from there. Then I have these really pretty ornaments. And I think I would like to do them like so. I want to have this kind of, I hope my cord is for my microphone isn't hanging down too far. Hanging like this. I think this one is going to be the little tiny one, and we're going to put this one over on the other page. All right, so that is how I want this to look. Now I've got a couple of things. Remember, we have these little pieces of paper right here. I was going to do a little faux distressing right here, and then on the other page as well. And then what I want to do is I want to tuck this little scrap paper under here, and then you'll be able to see it peeking out. Let me show you what that looks like on my little close-up. So I just fold back the edges of the paper, and then you have that little bit peeking out there. Okay, let's go ahead and do that little distressing piece. It's really simple to do, and it adds just a little, I don't know, a little detail. And I don't need these photo placeholders on here right now, so I'll hold those off to the side. I am not going to actually pop the ornaments up. I think I am going to pop up the title though. Okay, so all I do, this is so easy, is I just tear the paper, and it's kind of nice because that white core is going to show, and then we're going to fold back our edges like that. And if you get a little, if your adhesive there, and it's like a Tombow adhesive, it'll come right off so it won't show. And I'll use my rub and remove eraser on that in a second. Okay, so you can just run your tape runner like so, and that will hold that flap down. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, hold the flap down. Grab that eraser real quick. I love these erasers. They just clean up whatever messes I tend to make. Okay, and now I'm going to get a little adhesive on this. Now just watch the direction of the pattern here on this paper. That's all. I'm going to just kind of slide this up a little bit. The other thing about that Tombow adhesive that I'm using, it is repositionable. So if you don't press it firmly down, you have a little bit of latitude there. All right, that's good. Okay, now I want to come in with my title, and I'm going to use my thin 3D foam tape on this. Put one strip up here. I just tear it off with my hand. You don't have to use scissors to cut this stuff. It's awesome. Again, when I say I'm using the thin, I mean it's the wide width, but it's the thin loft. so it's not going to stick up that high on my layout. And I do want to kind of get this up closer to my picture, not on my picture, but close to it, and just centered in there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my leaves here that I did. I've got 2 of those in your packets. And they are just going to tuck in like so. It's okay if it sticks out a little bit, kind of like that. It just makes it a little bit more pronounced. Isn't that cool? All right, so now what I want to do is I'm going to come back in here with my ornaments, and I want them to kind of, I don't want them all at the same height. I want it kind of staggered like that. And I'm going to draw my line for the string to simulate the string there. But I can go ahead and I can glue, actually it's not that one. It's this one that I did with the bow. Boom. Okay. And again, I'm eyeballing this. I want it to be, it's right about the 8-inch mark right there. Okay. And we're going to come over here with this one. And this one's going to come up a little bit higher. This is a great opportunity for you to pull out those colored pencils that you might have in your stash, and you can color these in. Because I heat embossed it, if you want to use markers and do some coloring, you could also go that way instead. All right, and I'm looking at the 6-inch marker that gives me a little bit of spacing that way. So this creates a little vignette here on this page. So we've got my distressing down here. I've got my ornaments here. Let's go ahead and get those lines for those ornaments drawn in. Okay, I'm going to rotate my Versamat. I am using my Spectrum Noir metallic paint markers. I love these markers. I use them a lot. Ask any of my friends around here. They'll say, oh yeah, she's always pulling out the paint marker. I am going to use just a little piece of scrap paper here on the side. Make sure it's flowing. And if you just press down, it gets the ink moving down, but I always like to do that over on a scrap piece of paper. There we go. Before I try doing it on my project. Okay, I am going to use a little piece. I'm going to use my packaging here. So I want it to go straight, pardon my head getting in the middle of this picture, but I am just going to draw that line straight, like so. Done. Okay, so I'm going to think I'll do this one first. I'm just using that as my guide for my paint marker, and I'm just keeping it right on that mink paper. And the same thing here, right in the middle. I want it to be straight. Boom, straight line. 1, 2, 3. All right. The other thing I did was I did some faux stitching around the edges. So let's go ahead and add that faux stitching. I'm going to use a little tape here on the corner. Get that down. Okay, so you could do a couple of different ways. You have this really pretty charcoal paper. I did my faux stitching up here on my mink paper, but I think that if you did your faux stitching on the charcoal, it would be even more dramatic. Let's do that on this one. This was my prototype. Let's see what it looks like, right? If you don't like it, you can go back to the way I did it the first time. So I'm just going to rotate this around, and this is so easy. Faux stitching is fun to do, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If you think back, I'm not a quilter. Quilters want to keep their stitching perfect. If you are just kind of a beginner with stitching, you know your stitches are not perfect. They're inconsistent. That's something that you develop over time, so don't worry. Let it be a little more organic. Let it be a little bit more like you're a beginning sewer here. And I do really like the contrast. Maybe it'll look distracting. I don't think so. I like the metallic sheen of these markers. It's just so stunning. So one of the things that I did on the other one was I did a little faux stitching here. So it looks like I stitched that down as well. still can do that. No need to skip that element. It just makes it look a little detail. Just the little details add up and make your artwork a little prettier. So Close to My Heart no longer carries these markers, but I do. I am able to get them directly from Crafter's Companion. So I do stock these in my scrapbook store. So if you are interested in these markers and don't have the silver set, I can include those in your package if you order the kit. Or if you just want, if you've got all the stuff and you just want the markers, I can send you those too. There's each set of markers. There's gold, silver, and a bronze that are stunning. And each one of those has a round tip, a flat tip, and then this chisel tip, or this little pointed, which I think I probably use this little chisel one the most of all. Isn't that stunning? Can't you see? I just envision, you know, the Christmas photos have so much color. You've got the reds, the greens, what people are wearing. So having a nice neutral background to kind of showcase those pictures, for me, I think is going to be great. Okay, so that's the first page complete. And just like we did before with that rub and remove eraser on my little mistake that I made. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. We can do the same thing here. I'm just going to take that off the back and then my paper won't stick anymore. But isn't that great little trick to have? Okay, so put that off to the side. We've got one more step after this that we're going to do. Okay, we're back over here. And don't forget, we've got this other little piece of scrap paper. And what I did on this one was I just did that same little tear technique here on the top. Get my fingernails under there. I just tore it. And it's kind of nice because that little white core in our cardstock is going to show like so. And then this is way more paper than you need. You can totally trim that down. In fact, I'm just going to tear it and get my tape runner back out. I'm just going to snuggle that down in there. And press. Okay. And then we're going to get our edges pressed down. That little Tombow glue. Throw that away. Okay. And over here, I am going to pop this up on some foam tape. All right, now let's go ahead and do our faux stitching on this side. Again, I'm going to keep it in the charcoal space so it's consistent with my other page. But if you don't like it, you could always do it on the mink like I did on my prototype. This the paint markers take just a little bit to dry, so I wouldn't put anything down on top of it for a minute. Just let it dry quickly, and then you can certainly put these into a page protector of your choice. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add a few of our dots, and I used all of the colors. I used the bronze, and I try to keep my my selection in the same, like, kind of, I don't know, how do I say this? I wanted to have an odd number in the zones, so I'm just going to space these out. These are just so pretty. I love these colors. I'm using maybe some bigger ones towards the bottom just to kind of give it a little bit more weight. So your eye is drawn this way. Just gives it a little sparkle. And the other thing you can do on these, it's kind of cool. We could just put these as dots here, or we could use a little bit of ribbon. I have some ribbon here that I will use in a second to create bows. I love these little adhesive backed gems. They're so pretty. Okay, so down here, we're going to put in our journaling strips. So let me find my journaling strips. So the journaling strips come in these great 12-inch lengths. So you could go all the way across your pages. They come in a 1/2 inch width and a 1/4 inch width. I have included a small sample of one, i.e. Scrapbook Sampler, for you to try. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to put 5 strips, and I'm going to space them down here on the bottom. And look how easy these are to use. Okay, I want to line them up. Sometimes it's just easier for me to do it this way. And I'm just going to kind of stack them. There's 6-inch lengths, so they should just go pretty much the length of your photo. Okay, so there's my journaling strips. How easy was that? And let's do the bow. This is just a little bit of some metallic twine, a white twine with a metallic thread that I had in my stash from ages ago. And I just thought that that would look really cute with those bronze dots that we have included.
And now I need to clean my scissors.
So the other thing that you can do with these layouts, because of the simplicity of them, is if you have even more family photos or group photos that you want to add to this, this is a perfect opportunity for flip flaps. You could add a flip flap here, all of these could have flip flaps, and then you could even incorporate flip flaps on these pages as well. So I hope you've enjoyed our tutorial today on the Scrapbook Sampler. This is the monthly kit that I offer to my customers. This is based off of a close to my heart pattern that we have in our Make It From the Heart Volume 6. I love this pattern. This is something that I can see myself using over and over with different pattern papers and all the other things. I'm going to get some glue dots there for those. So again, if you have any questions, if you're interested in one of my kits, you can use the link in the comments below to get your kit. These are limited editions because I'm making all of these pieces and parts. So once I sell out, I will be sold out, but rest assured there'll be another one coming out next month. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will make sure to do more tutorials on the Scrapbook Samplers coming up. Thank you again. Good day.